Well, it's taken a little bit longer than we thought, but the southwest coast has started to see some pretty strong winds up around the 100-kilometre mark around some of the places like Warrnambool, and I think even further east in Colac, they've reached 120 kilometres an hour, I've noticed on Alder's website. And to speak about it, I'm joined by Senior Meteorologist from the Bureau of Meteorology, Miriam Bradbury. Miriam, thank you very much for your time.
Not a problem. Glad to be here.
And obviously we were waiting for the system to cross onto the southwest coast, and we anticipated that was going to happen sort of mid-morning, early afternoon, but it's certainly been a lot later than we originally thought.
Look, we did see those gusts starting to build through the morning, but we have seen them persisting longer into the afternoon. Really, the weather system driving these winds has slowed a bit to the south of that southwest coast, and that sort of prolonged that period of strong winds, pushed it out later into the afternoon. The system itself is now moving to the south of Port Phillip Bay, so it is moving eastwards, but certainly we are continuing to see that very windy weather. As you mentioned, some very high wind gusts have already been seen, above 90 k's an hour. We've seen those gusts above 90 k's an hour already along the southwest coast, including places like Warrnambool, Port Fairy, all seen those gusts above 90 k's an hour. Inland, we have seen those high gusts too, well above 100 k's an hour.
Yeah, and we thought that we were going to see some winds up around that 120 to 130 kilometres. Are we out of the woods? Is it likely the winds are going to sort of still stick around for a bit longer, and maybe those winds will pick up as the afternoon drags on?
Look, Mount Gellibrand did see a 120 kilometre an hour wind gust earlier today, but the risk of destructive winds, so pushing up to that 120 to 130 kilometre range, has eased back now. So still very windy, still could see those damaging wind gusts above 90 k's an hour, but that high-end wind risk has now started to back off. So our latest severe weather warning for damaging winds has now removed that wording around destructive winds, as that acute risk has eased. So it's still going to be windy over the coming hours, but we do still anticipate seeing those winds easing back more widely in the later part of the afternoon.
And of course, great news that there hasn't been too much carnage generated by these winds. Obviously, we've still got a little bit of time left, but on the state from a whole, looked like we did pretty well considering what we were sort of bracing ourselves for.
Yeah, look, we seem to have dodged those highest high-end wind gusts, which is always going to be a good thing as they are the most destructive, called destructive winds for a reason. But still, we have seen plenty of trees and tree branches brought down, reports of some power outages as well, reduced visibility out on the highways at times where that wind has actually lifted dust into the air. So still some fairly dangerous conditions across the state. And it's worth noting that the risk, as you say, it hasn't quite eased yet. That will come later today. So as long as we've got that severe weather warning for damaging winds current, it is good to just be mindful that we still could see some of that dangerous weather.
Thank you very much for your time, Miriam Bradbury from the Bureau of Meteorology. Let's hope that things quieten down in the next few hours.
Yeah, sounds good.